Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1051 of One Piece. This was a dope chapter. It looks like this is actually the resolution to everything happening on Wano. I could be wrong, but like I said last week, I'm just tired of trying to anticipate any twists and turns. I think it's kind of what's got the community so frustrated. So I'm just kind of at a point where I'm going to sit back, let Oda take the wheel and see where he guides us, because trying to figure out exactly where we're going, what's next has started to get way too beyond me. And, let's see where it goes. Anyway, if this is your first time on this channel or you've been here before but haven't done so already, would greatly appreciate if you could do your boy a solid, like, share, subscribe. Please help a brother out, help me with the algorithm. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this review. Alright, chapter 1051 of One Piece, Shogun of Wano, Kozuki Momonosuke. So, yeah, pretty dope chapter title. Let's start off with the cover page, the cover story. So, we have all the Germa siblings all reunited, all together, and honestly, I just think that's it. I think that's it. I would like for there to be, and I could anticipate some sort of twist. Someone else is on Big Mom's territory. In the world of One Piece, news gets around quickly. Yonko and other really big pirates have these information networks, and being in the know is vital in this society. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone knew that Big Mom is occupied right now, that Whole Cake Island is unoccupied. Well, not unoccupied, but one of the major threats is gone. This is our time to maybe sneak the poneglyph. This is our time to maybe wreak chaos. So a lot of people have been saying that Blackbeard Pirates might be here. We kind of want the Blackbeard Pirates to be everywhere, but I could there's a slight chance that they could be there, so I could see it. But as of right now, I'm not going conspiracy mode. I'm going to say these are who they are and that they were rescued. I am a little confused about that one cover story where Raiju was wearing what seemed to be heels and Brother was wearing boots. It didn't seem like the Germa boots, but we can maybe just assume they weren't in full transformation mode yet, and whatever they were wearing had capes or whatever. Let's just do that because we're going to drive ourselves nutty. Anyway, so we begin the chapter and we see everyone at the Fire Festival, and there's an announcement being made, right? And we see all these scabbards start to show up. So we start this chapter off with, the aftermath of the Fire Festival, and then we start having these scabbards start showing up and reintroducing themselves to the people of Wano. The scabbards were legendary. The legend of Odin was, known by everyone. So even though it has been 20 years, their legacy has not died. Their legacy has not been forgotten or faded. And so everyone's kind of excited. I like how Kinemon kind of introduces himself, and he's like, we've been gone for so long. I wonder if people recognize us, and then hits, a little pose. I can hear the little I forget what that instrument is. The one they use with the kabuki stuff. They used to use it with Jiraiya all the time. And he had the sandals. So that happened. By the way, something that's bothering me a little bit, just a little bit, is the fact that Kinemon and Kiku, last time we saw them, seemed completely jacked up. They seemed really, really messed up. And now, Kinemon is okay enough to do poses, and Kiku seems fine. She really seemed on the cusp of death, and now they seem pretty okay. So yeah, that was a little weird to me. So I hope maybe that gets addressed. Most likely won't, but that would be cool. I noticed a bunch of people were saying they didn't see Ashura Doji in the the lineup of these scabbards. And some people think he might be dead. Some people think he might be injured somewhere. Possibly, I just think he's lost in the sauce. I think it's really hard to try. Well, he's done it before, I feel like, but I think it might be really hard to try to fit all like 13 scabbards or however many scabbards there are, all in one panel like that, and the way they were sitting. So maybe we just didn't see him, and we'll see him in a later chapter. But as far as do I want him to be dead, I wouldn't mind, not because I crave death, but I do think it would be kind of, you know, sad and like poetic in a way that like the one that like stayed in Wano all 20 years and like fought and never gave up, and then when Kinemon came, ended up fighting him, and you know, had all these you know, like this indignant rage about, you know, being left behind and abandoned and forced to, you know, live through and see all the like, you know, destruction and torment that, you know, Orochi and Kaido had wrought, and you know, had to deal with that. You know, it would really, I think, would be a powerful point if Oda did decide to do something with that. But if he doesn't, I think it's still fine. I think it's okay. But that's just my thoughts on that. Also, something that is going to perpetually bother me is just the fact that, like, I'm really hating that the citizens of Wano have no real clue what happened, didn't know that the fight was taking place, and that this is going to be one of the, like, few arcs where, like, the people don't actually get to see Luffy liberate them. And it's kind of weird in a way that, like, it kind of seems like the Scabbards and Momonosuke are kind of like jockeying, you know, Luffy's steez right now, like jockeying his notoriety and stuff like that. It's just weird to me because I guess you could say it's like him creating a legend in his own, or like this is how rumors get started, and you know, how tales of their own, you know, come to fruition. But like, I don't know, something about this just does not sit right with me, and I feel like there's more than meets the eye, but like I just have to wait. I have to be patient. But like, I don't know. And then what happens if another threat kind of, you know, shows up and invades Wano, right? So I don't know. That's just something that's interesting. That's interesting to me, that like Luffy really is about to get no real credit for this, unless like there's some panels in the next chapter or so where the crew goes and like, well, not the crew, but like the Scabbards promise, they say, we'll tell everyone in Wano tale of your heroism, the pirates that like banded together to save us, and the one that single-handedly brought down Kaido. So yeah, interesting. So we move back to the Straw Hats, and it is a moment that I have been desperately waiting for, and it is Yamato being introduced, meeting for the first time the Straw Hat Pirates. So essentially, like, they find out that she's Kaido's son, quote unquote son, and they're all freaking out. Frankie is like, I'll fight you, whatever. But she explains quickly, no, I'm on your side. I'm actually going to join your crew. And that part actually had me going nutty. I was like, fans are going to eat this up. By the way, if you're a fan taking this as actual like confirmation that she's joining, calm down. Luffy is the captain. He makes the final say. Speaking of that, I'm glad that one character actually had the kind of response that I would. So we see from like right to left, we see like Nami and Usopp just freaking out like, what? And I think in their head they're just like, what, are you serious? Do we really like recruit the kid of Kaido? So that's wild. Then you have, you know, Frankie, who's just like what, you're on our crew? Like, no way. Then you have Brook and Sanji, and you already know, they're down to have her on the crew. They are down to have her on the crew. And like, I don't know, Yamato seem a little bit like, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I feel like she didn't grow up with a lot of people, so I feel like, you know, Sanji might be able to like finesse her and like trick her and like get her to do some things. So like, I was like, oh please, someone, I hope like Nami and Robin keep him away from Yamato. But oh my god, Brook and Sanji were a little bit too happy to have her on the crew. And then my favorite reaction was that of oh, you know, Robin's is funny. She was just on the side like, oh, how adorable, how cute. And then my favorite reaction was that of Jinbei, where he's like, okay, that's all well and nice, but I'm gonna wait to hear it from our captain. I'm gonna wait to hear from Luffy. And I was like, all right, that's my man. That's That's the one thinking with his head straight. So I really like that. So next panel, we see Zoro and Luffy completely laid out. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Oda doesn't expand anymore on that Grim Reaper thing. Maybe we as fans took it to mean a little bit more than it did. Maybe it was just simply Oda's way of depicting him being at death's door, like being this close to dying, but his will keeping him rooted to this plane. That one joke about like he can't die because he would get lost at death's door. So maybe that's what's going on at this moment. I really would like to think that Luffy and Zoro, predominantly Luffy though, are really going to be MIA for the rest of this arc, and hopefully a majority of Elbaf, so we can see the Straw Hats that didn't really get to step up in this arc get to step up next arc and have to figure out how to cope without their strongest fighters. It would be a great moment for Sanji to step up and to see what he can do, to see what Jinbei could do when they are the crew's strongest fighters at this point in time. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we get some gag that leads into more lore, and it's the trade the Beast Pirates I think still trying to fight, and Yamato's like, if you keep fighting them, I'm going to destroy you. Join us, it's over now. And Usopp's like, that reminds me, what happens to these guys? And he's talking about the smile users that Otama used to that the smile users that Otama fed her dongos to in order to control and have them fight on the side of the the Mink Pirate Samurai Alliance, right? And so this was something that has been a major, point of contention for me. At first I thought it was cool, but then I thought more so about things like, Dressrosa, where you had Sugar, who was, turning people into toys and controlling them and, manipulating them and like erasing them from people's memories. I was like, this could be a really screwed up, effed up power. And like, is there any ramifications? Because this is a whole story about, freedom versus order, and like the loss of autonomy is the greatest loss of freedom. And so I was wondering if Oda was going to do anything with this, and it's not as like grandiose as I thought it was going to be, but it's not anything bad either. It appears as though within a month's time, about 30 days, a month's time, the effects of the dango will wear off. Help me and my editor settle a dispute. I think that it takes a full moon cycle. I don't and when I say full moon cycle, I don't mean the moon has to be full, but a full cycle from whenever the person ate the dango. Perhaps maybe it means when the moon is full, but she said moon shape and didn't say what specific shape, so I guess just however long it takes to get back to the point the shape of the moon when the person ate the dango. He thinks, however, it just means that whenever there's a full moon that it'll break. So it can take up to 30 days, but if there's a full moon before those 30 days, then it'll break. I personally don't think it's that, but settle that dispute for us in the comments, okay? So on top of that with Otama, so yeah, basically after the 30 months time, they can decide whether or not they want to continue to leave or if they want to stay with Otama. So I think that's pretty cool. So Oda does kind of reintroduce that autonomy, free choice, free will kind of thing back into the series. So I appreciate that. And so basically, Otama wants, what's her name? Happy? Speed, Marcella tells, so basically Speed, Horcella tells Otama she wants to stay with her and be a servant with her like forever after this is over. And Otama's like, I would rather you be my mom. And honestly, that kind of hit me in the feels, like emotional damage. Otama is an orphan, doesn't have anyone, so I really felt for her on that. Was kind of hoping to get some more about her wanting to be a bewitching kunoichi, but that's fine. I'm interested in why specifically she sees Speed as her mom, and also I thought it would have been really cool if we went the other way and was like Nami was her mom, and that would kind of incentivize the whole to bring in Otama with us thing, honoring that promise that Ace made to her to bring her along one day, but unfortunately that's not where it went. There's some people that think that because, you know, Speed sacrificed herself, or at least tried to sacrifice herself to protect, you know, Otama from, was it Big Mom or Kaido, from one of them. She did that of her own accord, but I just honestly think, once again, that comes down to the fruit. So we will see after all is said and done if, you know, Speed decides to stay with them. So then we go back to Momonosuke giving a grandiose speech, and honestly, it's a great speech. He's really, you know, just rallying his nation. It's honestly pretty much his State of the Union address, and like I really think that's kind of dope. It's in his, well, it's his, actually, that was totally wrong. It's his inauguration speech, essentially. And I love how he says, he just states everything that's going on. He's going to be taking over, that, you know, they're going to be able to have clean water, the toxic lands are going to be, you know, taken care of, the factories are going to be destroyed, and you just see everyone in Wano just losing their stuff, which, by the way, great timing, because can you imagine after this festival where, you know, you only get this festival once a year, and then after that everything goes back to being miserable and you get to make these wishes, and this festival, for once, it seems like all those wishes come true, and, you know, you were thinking about waking up tomorrow and going back to, you know, the nitty gritty and, like, you know, this disgusting, you know, abhorrent, you know, country they live in. But no, like, it's a brighter day, and like the Momonosuke, the son of your former shogun, is back, and the scabbards that were his loyal retainers are back, and they're telling you that, like, it's going to be an era of greatness and new Wano is coming in. I think that is, you know, really phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what Oden does with the place. You know, Otama is just in tears. She can't believe what's happening. She has a flashback to meeting Tenguyama, and you know, him telling her to hold on just a few more years, she's going to be liberated, and she chose to believe him. And now to see that, you know, the prophecy has come true, that, you know, she held on for the right reason, she's going to see, you know, Wano enter a new dawn, is honestly just a beautiful thing. Nami says something very interesting, and that is that, you know, by the time we leave, Wano will be a place where they will never starve again. So I'm wondering if it's a matter of they're going to kind of, you know, find the food stores and just open them and, like, give them all out to the people of Wano, or if Oda is indicating that we're going to be spending a little bit more time in Wano, possibly a time skip, maybe not like a couple years, maybe like a couple weeks or something, however long, you know, Luffy or Zoro need to recover. You know, I think it would be really cool if they went to Elbaf injured. But yeah, however long Luffy and Zoro need to recover, and in that time, you know, the Straw Hats help to rebuild Wano. So, oh yes, Momonosuke's design. I am 1000% cool with it. I love it. I honestly was not going to enjoy if he looked like a carbon copy of Oden, or just like look pretty much like Oden, but like change a little bit, so it's like we can say it's a slightly different character, like, you know, Mufasa, but like we're gonna give him like brighter red hair kind of thing, right? So I really love his character design. He looks like his own person. I'm digging it. I do not want to be a hater, but something is rubbing me the wrong way about this 8-year-old kid being Shogun. You know, in our own history, we've had child kings, child emperors. It's nothing new, but like, I just don't know what qualifies Oden to be, you know, the leader of Wano, other than having, you know, that bloodline. And something that, like, I would like to think about One Piece is that bloodlines don't matter, except they kind of do, because we're getting into this kind of arena where all these races have like these unique traits and abilities, so maybe there's something much more to that. But I think it's kind of unfair to Hiyori. We do know that, you know, Wano is supposed to be like old isolationist Japan, and they were a little bit sexist back then, and like women couldn't really hold a lot of positions of power. And so I thought it would be kind of a cool subversion. And I'm not usually on the like whole PC kind of tip, but I do think it would be a kind of a cool subversion if Hiyori could have been Shogun. She's been living in the nitty gritty. She's had to do abhorrent things, you know, under Orochi. She watched people firsthand suffer, and she learned under, you know, she got to grow. She's mentally mature. I would have thought it would have been cool if she could have been, you know, Shogun of Wano, at least for a little while, you know, maybe Momonosuke could train more, could maybe travel more, could maybe do some other things. So that's interesting. But you know what? We'll see how it goes. I'm sure Oda has a reason for why he made it Momonosuke. Speaking about people leaving, I want to touch on Yamato one more time. I'm gonna be real with you. I want her to join. I want her to join. I want Momo to join. Sorry, I want Yamato to join. I want Carrot to join. I want Otama to join. Are they all gonna join? Probably not. But like, I don't get why there's not enough room for everyone, and why people don't like Carrot, why people don't like Yamato. I think it would be awesome. I think they're cool characters. I think they have interesting crew dynamics and interactions. I think it would be fun, and also, don't get me wrong, I think it would be dope to have more skilled fighters for when we have to fight, you know, bigger threats. The only thing that bothers me about Yamato is her motivations. I think, you know, if she wants to go, Luffy will let her go, but the thing is, he's the kind of dude that wants her to want to go, and for it to not be for superficial reasons. And, you know, she's still doing this whole, I'm Kozuki Oden, blase blah bit, and that's not who she is. She hasn't got to be who she's wanted to be because of, you know, the trauma and, you know, subterfuge that Kaido put her through. Also, he told us that her devil fruit was perfect for protecting Wano, and we still to this day don't know what that means. What's going on with this? I'm segueing now, but yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about Yamato. It's kind of hard to know if she'll truly go. And then finally, what's happening with this volcano? What's happening with these earthquakes? You know, kind of reminds me of the Tower Tarot card we looked at. You could kind of see that the tower itself can kind of be a volcano, right? So there's just a lot going on, and you know, just like, you know, Oda likes to make different subversions of arcs, he might be putting a little bit of Skypiea Jaya in this, where, you know, with the Land of Gold, we couldn't find it, turns out it was in Skypiea. Maybe it's something similar to this. You know, that volcano erupts, it makes Sky Island, it makes Pyrobluin, we get poneglyphs, more information. So that was a lot. I can't wait for Lore Piece to begin. Roof Piece has ended, Lore Piece is beginning. I don't know if Oda has any more twists and turns in store for us. We do still have, you know, the world government outside of Wano trying to annex, but how are they going to get in? That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it here for now, because, whew, Oda did it again. We have so many questions. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Otaku Talk. I'm your host, OD. Have a great weekend, and take care. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.